I mean, I've always wanted to do something. You know, I always wanted to have my own business. So my name is Nate McPherson, and I'm the co-founder of Spexton Jewelers. And we started in 2003 as a men's designer clothing store. And at the time, we were in downtown. We had a little shop, and we were struggling to make ends meet. And behind our store, there was a machine shop. And Greg, my husband, he took a job working there in the daytime to make extra money, just so that we could pay the bills. They were making uninspiring, boring, like screws and little parts and stuff for the oil industry, you know, hundreds at a time on these big machines, but they were lathes that cut round bar. And that inspired Greg to start selling rings. And he thought, you know, we can buy our own little miniature table lathe, and we can cut these and we can sand them. And he was like, I can create the whole system so that we could start selling rings in our clothing store. We literally had it was like $400 in our bank account, and he convinced me to go to the store and buy this lathe that was $300. It was like $350. I mean, it was almost every dollar we had, and we spent it all. And we bought this machine. My grandma gave us a bench grinder that we still have today to do the polishing, and Greg created a way to hand make these wedding bands, you know, using a manual little throwaway lathe and basic machinery. And we broke that machine the first month. We sold so many. Spexton has always had a unique look. It doesn't look like anything else that you've seen in a retail store, because we have the unique textures, because we have unique finishes, and that's because we do all that part of it by hand. And generally, when you're shopping for wedding bands, titanium rings, these types of contemporary metals, they're all made in China, they're all made in India. The overwhelming majority of everything you see on the market, everything you see in a jewelry store, it's imported. And so there's nothing inherently unique or special about it. And we were using the same materials, but we were utilizing hand-driven lathes. We were doing hand finishing on it, like you might do on finer jewelry, giving Spexton its signature unique look. It definitely is that story of starting with a few grand and turning it into now we're multi-millions each year in wedding bands. And it's because we've kept that same promise as we've moved forward. And I'm very, very serious about the fact that I want you to love your ring. I understand it's your wedding band. I'm not flippant about this. I take it very seriously, what I'm doing for you, and I know this is a very important purchase. One of the most important purchases, I think, of your life. If in your whole life you only have one thing that was custom made for you, only one thing that you could ever get, it should be your wedding band, shouldn't it? You know, I mean, that's who Spexton is, and that's why our service backs it up. Whenever we see an order come through, we take this very seriously. This is your wedding band. We're never gonna leave you stranded. You know, if there's an issue, we're gonna fix it immediately. And that's why we've grown to this day to be who we are, because we keep that promise to our customer.